Good day and welcome to Ultimate Spider Days. I'm OmniDog from OmniDog's Vault with my co-host Chat OmniDog, also known as ETL. ETL, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Welcome to the Ultimate Spider-Man Show, the #1 rated show on YouTube. Not even on hiatus. We are back to #1 of all. There's like 30 of them, and we have climbed to the top. People love us. People want more from us. I don't know. Jess and I, maybe we should do this every day. Like maybe just keep a live stream from like 9 in the morning. Take it to the bathroom with us. Take coffee. Whatever. I mean, people need to get to know us on a whole nother level on top of our Ultimate Spider-Man reviews. What do you say?
I say that sounds like a good idea for you to try.
Just give me the password to OmniDog's Vault, and
no, you can create your own channel.
No, we're gonna blow up OmniDog's Vault.
No, there will be no bathroom shots in OmniDog's Vault.
All right, that's probably for the best for everyone.
Yeah,
we'll stick to what we know. We are reading Carnage today, which covers issues 60 through 65 of the Ultimate Spider-Man, written by Brian Michael Bendis and drawn, as always, by Mark Bagley.
Yeah.
So, what did you think, Jess?
Well, I think it's interesting how Brian Michael Bendis has handled both Venom and Carnage, making them like test tube creations.
They're kind of similar in creation. What was your experience with the real world, we'll call it, Spider-Man's Carnage? I was kind of out of comics when Carnage came along, so my experience with Carnage is a little limited.
I've had to do a lot of catching up on Carnage, but he's, I believe, an offspring of Venom.
Yeah, I don't quite know the correlation, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, let's look it up. Let's have because I've read a lot of Carnage, and let me look.
Let's get your magic computer phone.
She's not going to work. Let me just let me see. Carnage.
Yeah,
Carnage is a fictional supervillain. Blah 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 blah. Character was created. Carnage began to offspring of Venom that is more powerful than him due to the symbiote's nature and is much more sociopathic and sadistic. Yeah,
Venom. Wasn't it like Venom glommed onto a psychopathic killer, which Eddie Brock kind of became, I guess, but it wasn't like somebody Cassidy, right? Who was
Cletus Cassidy?
Cassidy, who was a psychopath killer.
Yeah, and so he bonded with Carnage bonded with Cletus because Venom has. I think that Donny Cates right now. I haven't read any of it yet, but I mean, throughout the years, there have been a bunch of symbiotes that are like offspring of Venom, like Scream and Cage and Zombiotis or whatever. There's all kinds of different offsprings, and then I think now Donny Cates is taking it to where there's like a whole world of offsprings.
It's almost. I read the first couple trays of Cates' Venom, and it's like a planet of Venoms, and gods, and they're godlike. And I have not followed it into Absolute Carnage, that run or anything, so I don't know any about any of that. But my earliest take on Carnage was it seemed like kind of a ripoff of Venom, or they got kind of tired of Venom, and so they made let's make another red Venom. So,
well, since he's more bloodthirsty and more vicious than Venom, and Venom's gone through so many changes now, where I think right now Venom's a good guy. He's been a good guy for a while, and Carnage never changed. He's always been bloodthirsty, a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Well, I don't know, and I read that Venom run where he attaches to Flash Thompson, who lost both his legs, and then he has kind of some control over it.
Yeah,
it was an interesting take. It was a good take, and then I think at some point he went off to the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know where we're at with. And again, I don't know if Donny Cates' Venom has taken over all Venoms, or if Rick Remender's Super Soldier Venom is still around. I don't know.
Yeah, as a trade waiter, I mean, I have the first Venom, but I don't know where he is right now with Venom.
Did you get those Venombuses? Venom? What?
I got Venomnibus 1, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I just I'm not that interested in him. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I like him as a character.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to like him. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. When I saw that omnibus, and now there's like 3 of them, I was like, I don't need everything. I don't have to read everything.
No, you don't.
And I am kind of interested to pick. I didn't pick up Absolute Carnage, but I do. Again, reading the first 2 Cates' Venom, I am interested in kind of what that's going through, and so I think I will try to get the app. Did you pick up the Absolute Carnage omnibus?
I did, yeah. I want to read that.
So I think I'm going to try to keep. Sometimes I know I'm going to be more interested in the newer stuff than I am in the older stuff, and so like I like Donny Cates a lot, so I'm on that right. But anyway, let's get back to our Carnage, which is
created in a test tube like Venom was
by who's the lizard?
Doc Connors.
Doc Connors. I always forget. So this is kind of a quick read. I read this a while ago. Jess kept canceling our dates to do this. So
sorry, I flaked.
That's all right. You might have to plot wise it more for me. So is that so we find out Doc Connors is kind of a drunk and he's losing his family, and right at the very beginning of the book, and then Peter fights some guy in a really cool costume. He looks kind of like an armadillo. Right at the beginning.
Wait, is this when he is fighting the Punisher?
No. That comes a little bit later.
Oh, okay. Oh, when he goes to get patched up by Doc Connors first?
Exactly. Like he fights this guy with these blades that shoot out.
Okay. Wait, yeah. Let me get.
I don't even know his name.
He was weird. He was holding up a bank. A museum. Here he is.
Yep.
Here he is.
That's a badass costume. Again, he has kind of like these multiple blades, like Wolverine on his arms, and then they shoot out. It's pretty cool.
I've never seen him since, and I don't even know. He calls himself. Well, he says the Emperor has given the signal. We will do battle for Nurhachi, and then they have a battle, and this guy's got blades going on everywhere on his costume.
Yes, awesome.
And Peter gets nicked pretty badly. He does end up defeating this foe who I haven't heard from since, and we don't really know.
We never see him again either, I don't think.
I don't even know what he was up to. But he goes to the only doctor he knows, and that is the one-armed surgeon, which is kind of interesting, Doc Connors.
Yeah.
Who's the lizard. And Doc Connors gets the idea to do something with Peter's DNA sample.
Yeah, and they kind of have this cool scene where he asks him for permission and basically says, "Hey, I think." Does he say he's going to use his father's method? Kind of the Venom method, and kind of use Peter's DNA to kind of look into.
I think that seems to be mentioned in it
because he has.
He did ask Peter for. He did ask Peter for permission.
And we're introduced real quickly to Ben Reilly. Can you see that? Ben Reilly, who becomes
Ben Reilly, who's like his partner. Here, show him again.
He's like
partner.
He's like Doc
partner.
He's like his graduate assistant or something, and he doesn't become a Ben Reilly that we might recognize as a clone or anything yet.
Oh, he doesn't.
Well, I mean, not in these issues at least.
No. Yeah, right.
So, and I think Doc Connors is always like in the pursuit of getting his arm back or something, and I don't know. It seems like that's why he turned into the lizard. And I'll tell you, and I'm going to talk about Batgirl, Gail Simone's Batgirl, where she becomes a non-paralyzed. And I know Jess knows, but I'm an amputee. I'm a leg amputee, and I use crutches and stuff. And it's funny, like when I was reading this, I just find it, I don't know, and I rarely ever have this reaction, but it's like almost like offensive that it was like when everyone's damaged or crippled in the comic book world, they're just trying to change it or get better or whatever. You know, it's like I would just like if Doc Connors just accepted his amputation and lived his life, you know, or whatever. I mean, and again, I get this is dramatic, this is comic books and stuff, but it was the first time it ever occurred to me. And again, I think it hit home more with like Gail Simone's Batgirl. It's like, oh, we just have to fix these disabled people, you know? It's like, well, maybe they're just disabled and that's a character trait, you know, or, you know, I don't know. So it's just, it kind of triggered me both. I think reading them back to back, but,
okay. Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah. To be fair, I hadn't either. And so, but it does seem to be like Doc Connor's motivation. And but that all being said, I think he's a really kind of interesting, because again, we talked about this before. We never really see him in these books as the Lizard. And someone told us on our YouTube comments, like it's in the Marvel Ultimate Universe team up that he's the Lizard. But in this book, we never really see him as the Lizard, and so we only see him as the scientist. And so what happens is Carnage becomes the meeting of the, lack of a better word, the Peter Parker's dad's Venom and Peter Parker's blood, and he becomes kind of like this creepy test tube baby. Well, first we got to show the Punisher.
Oh. Okay.
Which is a super quick. Like I don't even know why he's in this exact. Well, I mean, we all know why. The Punisher and the Wolverines and everything is to. I'll just show one more thing. Is to boost sales, but he quickly fights the Punisher in a good. This is the one thing too I liked in this book is like I miss the old Peter Spider-Man like Stan Lee where he just fights a couple guys in a bank, you know, and it's just kind of fun, you know.
Here's Venom test tube baby. I think it was a mixture of Connor's DNA and Peter's DNA.
Yeah, and the Venom.
Oh, there's some Venom thrown in there.
I thought it had something to do with Peter Parker's dad's stuff, but I don't know. It might not be Venom. It might just be because again, we do see a lot of like Peter Parker's dad's science stuff. But that image of Carnage, becomes Carnage is pretty cool. That test tube. Then of course it becomes in here. Show me for a sec. Or show this page where. He eats the scientist. So eventually Carnage breaks out and does this to a security guard. And I guess we give lots of spoilers here, but then eventually he kills. I was kind of heartbroken when Gwen Stacy died.
Yeah, I was really enjoying Gwen as a character, and that was a big surprise to me that's how she goes.
Kind of unceremoniously. So Carnage sucks the energy out of humans, and I guess to survive, right? I mean, So then I don't know if you have the page where he like grabs Gwen Stacy. I guess he's kind of drawn to Peter Parker. I don't. We never.
Yeah, he's got Peter Parker's memories. It seems like in his since he's been cloned and stuff. This is where he gets. He feels like he needs to be at the Parker house. Yeah. So he's got Peter's memories and things like that. It looks like he's sucking the life out of people to try and become more human. And here he just kills Gwen, which was shocking to me because I thought we were going to see Gwen like forever in the book, or I don't know. But
go forward a couple pages and show, and then the next book. Next issue, Peter's aunt finds Gwen's body, a mummified body. Like that's horrific, man. Can you imagine coming home to that?
Yeah.
I hope she comes. I hope it's comic book stuff and she comes back because I was like,
I don't know. He's
no, you're right.
Radically rewriting Spider-Man here, which I think is exciting and interesting, and. I mean, there are consequences, which, like the death of Gwen Stacy so early in the run. Yeah. So I think it's interesting and exciting that there are consequences in something like this. So I'm going to miss Gwen because I thought she was a good character. But as uninteresting as the origins of Venom and Carnage are, because the origins of them in Earth 616 reality, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
And being grown in a test tube, I find a lot less interesting, their origins. But at least he deals with their characters, and this is a big blow, of course, to Peter, who decides to give up being Spider-Man at this particular time after talking with MJ.
Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it. Like the origins in 616 is much interesting than here, but I think the ramifications of what these villains do in the Ultimate Universe is more interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
And more heartfelt to Peter and devastating because he's at work and he swings home and doesn't even change into Spider-Man and comes home, and that scene where his aunt and they're with the cops and so then Doc, I was going to say Doc Ock, Doc Connors comes to Peter's house. They have a real fight. I mean, Peter's pissed.
Well, he is. He accuses Connor of creating this Carnage creature, and I mean, the Carnage starts to make himself look like Peter.
Yeah, it's very creepy because you don't know. You don't know if is he becoming what he absorbs or is he becoming what he sees. It's not a super well-rounded. It's more of a kind of horror entity than it is a villain. You know, he seems almost animalistic.
And it's also, I think, an interesting issue because Peter leads Carnage to its death. He doesn't consider him a living creature with a mind or anything, so he throws him down an industrial smokestack and kills the creature.
Isn't that what he did with Venom, though? Again, Bendis is.
Remember, is that what he did with Venom?
Yeah, I think he had like the jar and he threw it down there. I think the same smokestack. But Bendis is just going to the greatest hits. It's like when you learn how to kill something, you just do it over and over again the same way.
Yeah.
Why reinvent the wheel, right?
Right. So, I really enjoyed. Oh, yeah, and it showed. This was a pretty good horror scene, just as Carnage was dying.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the next, and then we see that the Carnage vial goes with Ben Reilly.
Yes, our new clone or whatever he's going to be in this world.
Right. So I wonder if Ben Reilly mixes himself with Carnage and becomes some kind of clone that way. And then the final issue is a bunch of detention that has Peter, even though he gave up being Spider-Man, he still solves a mugging and says, "I'm sorry, Gwen," that he wasn't there to help her, which is, of course, the Peter Parker suffering he always goes through.
Yeah, that detention issue was not the greatest. I mean, it would have been like, if I would have bought these in individual issues, I would have been like, oh, this one, I wish I had spent the money on this one. But I'm a completist, so I'll buy it anyway. But
which one? Oh, the last issue?
Yeah, the detention one where and it's just revealed that Flash Thompson liked Gwen Stacy, and it's a little bit like, well, he's heterosexual in his eyes. And she dresses in tight leather pants and halter tops. I mean, I'm shocked that Flash had that opinion. Crazy. So, but that was, I will say, like he's kind of dropping off those secondary characters, and so it's like I just don't. I'm just disconnected with Flash. I don't really have any like him being his feelings being hurt, and just doesn't bother. I don't know.
He doesn't have a very big emotional spectrum. Flash doesn't. They haven't given him a real story yet to give him any kind of emotional range or anything.
Yep.
They tried to. He tried to have a sit down with Peter a couple times to talk about Gwen, and now he's just gone back to enraged bully. And so,
but the problem with that, we didn't even know he wanted to talk about Gwen. We didn't really. And it was also it was Mary Jane who said, "Oh, you like Gwen, didn't you?" And it was just it was just an odd reveal, and it was just kind of clunky. And it was also like several issues back, like a whole trade and a half back, where it was weird. He's not juggling it all that well. Like the Chris Claremont juggled all of those crazy teen and 20-something X-Men dramas, like with everyone has like so masterfully. You'd have like 50 different little plots going on. You kind of touch base with them. I don't think Bendis is super great on keeping like secondary plots.
Speaking of X-Men, I can't wait for us to read this next issue arc.
Yeah,
with Wolverine going all claws out at Spider-Man.
No, hold on. We're going to talk about that, but let me talk about my Rex. This is Jess's favorite part of the show.
Oh boy, I tolerate this.
No, he loves it. I'm going to make it quick. It's mostly stuff I've read. A lot of it I'm not going to recommend. I'm going to talk about these in order of my least favorite to my favorite. Okay. So my least favorite, I'll go real fast. Roku by Valiant, written by Colin Bunn. I'm a huge Colin Bunn fan. This book is total garbage.
Oh dear, you own that book.
Throw it away. It's clearly like, and I think Valiant kind of did this too, does this a lot where they get like a writer and they're like, hey, do you have a throwaway story? We'll publish it. We'll give you a bunch of, probably not a bunch of money. We'll give you some money. This woman has like, she's like an assassin, but she uses her hair like Medusa to stab people, like to kill people. And it's just, it's a clunky 4-issue mess. It's not worth it.
Okay, I want to read it now.
Don't bother. Yeah, read it. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
This is the Black Widow Web of Intrigue. It's basically like the first half of the new epic that came out.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. It has early like few issues of like her origin, kind of retelling her origin. I think it's come from Marvel fanfare, and then a couple of like different like trade paperbacks that, I mean, it was all okay. Forgettable. I'm going to donate it to my library. Roku, okay. I will donate to my library, but probably throw away. I read the first 2 trades of Batgirl, which I think is going to be by Gail Simone. Huge Gail Simone fan, huge Batgirl fan. These are not that good. And this is kind of what I was talking about. So this is New 52, and Gail Simone decided to bring back Barbara Gordon. I don't know if where it is in comic books, but when we're open up with, she is full Batgirl again, and she can walk and do Batgirl things, and she's had surgery of some magical surgery. And so these first few issues, she's gets a roommate. She's in college, so basically, like the whole Barbara Gordon being Oracle, which is just kind of gone. New 52 is such a mess where they kind of retcon some people. They kind of, where was Batman in the Batman world? Nightwing was Nightwing, but then Damien's still there. So here in this world, Batgirl is back to being like 19 and basically was never Oracle.
Right.
Part of my favorite thing about her, being disabled and being in a wheelchair and being limited, but she also had those issues in Birds of Prey where she has to kick ass in her wheelchair. Guys will break in, random stuff. So she's still physically able to do certain things, but also like her real power is being able to tap into the internet and do all the cool stuff and navigate and tell people where to go. And that's just all gone. And now it's just, I just find it's a weird choice because there's like Stephanie Brown was a great Batgirl. I mean, Cassandra Cain, I really loved as Batgirl, but it's kind of not. But this is basically like Batgirl trying to, she has a new roommate, and the new roommate doesn't know who she is, and so she gets, so she's got to navigate this new world where she's got to go to college and be Batgirl, and I don't know, it's just kind of why, So I don't like them, and I bought these from a guy in the group. I'll probably read them and maybe try to resell them or donate them to the library. I'm glad I didn't get the omnibus. The art isn't super great. The art's good, but I don't know. I'm just disappointed because it's not my Batgirl, or whoever.
Yeah, I think I liked it a little bit more than you did, but I understand your criticisms.
Yeah. Weirdly, and I'm surprised. Well, no, this did you read this? This is pretty good.
I loved that. Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I actually wish they'd do more.
Yeah.
Because basically, like, what if Invisible Woman worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. as a spy? Pretty smart. So I was surprised by liking this as much.
I think that's Mark Waid, right?
Yep, Mark Waid, and I won't know how to pronounce his name, so I'll just show it. Great art. I mean, the art was amazing. Anyway, I do highly recommend that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I recommend all the James Bond books, but this is the new one. It's kind of a short story collection. It's basically like Moneypenny gets kidnapped, and so she kind of tells these James Bond stories to her kidnapper, and so it's like different chapters is written by James Bond.
Oh, that's interesting.
I love all the Dynamite James Bond stuff. I just think it's
is that the newest one?
It's the newest one. Yep.
Reflections of Death. Okay, I haven't read that.
So it has different. So it's a good conceit. Like Moneypenny gets kidnapped, and the kidnapper wants to know about James Bond. So the beginning of the chapter is like her telling the story of, and then we go into flashback of a James Bond story. And it's done by different writer. Each book is a different writer and different artist. But then they also have the James Bond eventually finds Moneypenny. So we're always kind of back to that story of her being kidnapped. And the Moneypenny, I don't know how much of this you've read, but the Moneypenny character is so good in this. She's like a black kind of badass chick. So of course James Bond goes to save her, but she saves herself just as much as 500 times. So she's a badass hero as well.
Okay, good.
I was super surprised to like this New 52 Catwoman by Judd Winick. You read these?
Yeah, I like New 52 Catwoman, especially the issue written by Valentine.
Yeah, he's after Winick, right?
Yeah, it's issues 6 and trades 6 and 7, I think, when she becomes
the Kingpin,
head of the mafia.
Yeah. So, but I was kind of turned off by the art. I think back in the day, because it's like super sexy. Catwoman at the beginning of the first issue sleeps with Batman, and but it's like it's good. Like what I would say, like the Batgirl for Gail Simone's kind of pedestrian and kind of stuff you read. I don't hate it, but like whatever. This is kind of unique and got like a new twist to Catwoman, which I liked, and so I'm definitely going to keep reading that. 2 more, bear with me. Just read Baltimore Omnibus 1, really good. It starts off kind of like a lot of like Magnolia stuff where it's like just chapters. You don't really know what's adding. It's kind of like different horror, different beasts and stuff. And then it starts becoming like a longer tale, and then it adds up by the end. Have you read this one?
I haven't. I have it, but I haven't read it.
I really recommend it. It's very good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
I have the second one, and I can't wait to get back into it because it's just, again, like he builds it and stuff. And
look at you spending the money on an omnibus. Wow.
Well, wait till you see this.
Whoa.
I just finished this bad boy. I'll be honest, though. Reading big omnibuses, I don't know if I'm getting older. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh, it really is.
It's like, anyway, I finished. It took me a long. It's not like I read all this in like 2 weeks or whatever, but I've read this over time, and I just finished it yesterday. Have you read this stuff? It's so good.
I've heard it's great. I really want to read it.
And I have no connection to the video game, or but it doesn't matter. I didn't even know it was a video game, to be fair. It's that's the first 3 years or whatever, and they're definitely like the first one's way better than the second one. The second one's better than the third, but like it's all so good and like adds up, and it's also crazy too because it's basically like it's an Elseworld. So like people just die, and you're like, whoa, I can't believe they. And to be fair, I don't even remember who dies, but like, oh, I can't believe they killed them. Like, whoa, that's fucked up. It's like, oh wait, this isn't real, or this isn't our Batman or our Superman doing these things. So it's very ballsy.
Yeah,
like those kill anyone, Superman does whatever. It's very good. Like I was kind of, I don't know, like when they were selling it, I was kind of like, what do I care about an Elseworld where Superman becomes the dictator or whatever? I'm like, but it's done very well, and the art is great. Like I said, I liked it. I was kind of like, I'll check it out, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I really want to read it.
Reading omnibuses is fucking hard. I'm like,
especially big 1,500-page ones like that.
Heavy, and so anyway.
Yeah.
Those are my recs. Thank you for indulging me, Jess.
You're welcome.
And next week we will be reading Superstars.
All right.
Covering issues 66 through 71, written by the same Brian Michael Bendis. Yep. So I haven't read this one. I'm looking forward to it. Superstars. Looks like it's got a lot of crossovers.
Okay. Well, good. This has been Ultimate Spider Days with my friend Chad Omnidog, where we cover Ultimate Spider-Man And thank you for tuning in. Feel free to leave a comment, a like, and feel free to subscribe, please. And as always, we say peace and love, peace and love. Thank you for watching.